Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. Because of the type of video I put out the other day, I saw a lot of spackling about, well, let's do a check on Gweilo 60. Has he ever been arrested? Has he ever run afoul with the law in Canada or anywhere else for that matter? Well, you know, I'm gonna circumvent this little thing where I'm gonna get ahead of the curve, just because it's the kind of guy I am, guys. You know what I mean? Have I ever been charged with anything? Yeah, and somebody brought it up where I was charged with carrying on legal actions in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Everybody knows that I used to run a collection agency repossession business, and part of that was doing legal actions for my clients in civil court, in provincial civil court, and I think it was up to, I can't remember now, it's like I sold that business 6-7 years ago, but I think it was up to $25,000. So you could start legal actions up to $25,000 in small claims court. So let's back up a little bit. Before I started my business, I used to work for a company called Northern Collection Agencies, and when my boss was going to sell his collection agency and figured he could sell me along with it, I said, no, I'll just go hang out my own shingle. So I did, and there was animosity there. But his daughter was married to the ex-police chief of Prince Albert. Ex-police chief, meaning he had another job. He was the chief investigator for the Law Society of Saskatchewan. Yes, so they used their influence to get the Law Society to have me charged. So we go to provincial court, and they say, yes, Gweilo, you're guilty. I wasn't called Gweilo then, but yes, Gweilo, you're guilty, and we're going to charge you a $100 fine. I said, fuck this shit. I appealed it to Court of Queen's Bench. And I had a friend, Larry Zatlin, a silver-tongued devil if I ever seen one, I'm telling you. So we went to Court of Queen's Bench and we appealed it, and I'm gonna put a link. If I can't put the whole document, I'll put a link in the description that will put you to the actual, because I was the only one in Canadian history at that time, I don't know if it still is, that was charged with this particular offense that beat the Law Society at their own game. They ran back to Regina with their tail between their legs. I never heard anything from them. But all the publicity I got out of this actually tripled the size of my collection agency in a matter of 6 months. So, you know, I have to thank my ex-employer and his daughter and their malicious idea of, because when I was working for him, I was doing exactly the same thing. But when I hung up my own shingle, well, now you're breaking the law, boy. You know what I mean? So people have been taking a shot at me all my life. That's why when people take shots at me, it really doesn't fizz on me much. You know what I mean? I got a thick skin, eh? It's one of those things. Okay, well, what else you got? What other skeletons in your closet, Gweilo? Well, you know, I've been divorced. And I'm gonna try to find the divorce, and you know, and I think I probably can, because I'm pretty good at finding anything that has to do with legal actions in Canada, because it's what I basically used to do for a living, is do legal actions and get charged for it, and then beat the Law Society, and you know what I mean? One of the reasons I think the Law Society was so keen on actually going after me was that I had done about 4,000 legal actions in Prince Albert alone in civil court. So I'm sort of taking money out of their pockets, because that's what they went to school for 7 years, and articling and all this other stuff to do. So they had their nose out of joint. How come this uneducated fool could do what we do? And you know, I was actually suing more people in provincial court per month than all the lawyers in Prince Albert put together. So but I didn't charge for it, you know what I mean? We'd get a judgment. I'd go there and on my own time and on my own dime. I sound like Alex now. And you know, we get a judgment against them. If my company would collect that judgment, and we're pretty good at doing that too, that's when I would get paid. So I really didn't get paid for doing legal action. So the only thing they could charge me with was carrying on a legal action without being a lawyer. And that didn't work out for them. So sorry, man. Anyway, back to this divorce thing that I went through. That was back in 1990, let's say 3 or 4 or something, somewhere around there. And it went to court. It went to a full trial, and you know, it wasn't a good part of my life. You know, divorce is a difficult thing to go through for anybody. But at that time, I had 3 daughters. Callie was 18 months, Jari was 10 years, and Miranda was 12 years old. Okay, well, the idea that probably each parent, myself or my ex-wife, would have been a fairly good parent, but because we were young and headstrong and stuff like that, and each figured that they probably were the better parent in the best parent in the world, you know, until you're doing it, and then it's more difficult than it looks like, especially raising 3 daughters. Tell me about it. So we went through the whole rigmarole and went to court, and I'm pretty sure I can find those documents, and I'll put a link to it too. And it turns out that the judge determined that I would be the best parent, probably because I was still in Prince Albert. Their grandfather grandfather and grandmother on my ex-wife's side were living in Prince Albert. My father lived in Weldon. He was about 40 minutes outside of Prince Albert. Their school, all of their curricular activities, I was gainfully employed by that Northern Collections at that time. You know, so I was the more stable of the two at that particular time. I'm not sure whether it says in the documents or not, but my ex's father, a very honest, good man, was asked to go sit on the stand, and the judge had asked him a couple of questions, and one in particular that I still remember. He looked at it and said, "Mr. Patterson, who do you think would be the better parent for these children at this time?" And he said, "Well, Kirkwood." You know, so, and that's her father. So I'm sure that the family was not pleased with him, but it's one of those things. But after you go through all of this, and the children get older, and they want to have contact and live with mom, or they want to live with dad, you know, so they end up floating back and forth, and before you know it, they're 18, 19, 20 years old, boyfriends, married, out doing what they do, having their own life. So you know, the scrapping between the parents, if I had anything to turn around and do over again, that would be it. I probably would have been not so headstrong, and we probably could have done a better job on that. But yeah, I was a single parent and raising daughters, and boy, that's an eye-opener for one thing. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of humility in those years, and maybe that's basically why I am who I am today. And everything worked out. You know, she's remarried with a nice guy, from what I understand. I'm remarried with Wei Fong, and I got lucky, boys. You know what I mean? All my kids are healthy, happy, safe, and content. You know, my oldest daughter, Miranda, everybody knows her from the live streams, doing my moderating and stuff like that. You know, she's, and I got 2 great grandchildren. It's, you know, so all of this has, and see, I digress now, like I love talking about my kids. But the thing is that, these are the 2 run-ins, well, where I had to go to court, actually, in my life. And I thought, before some turd says, well, I'm going to find some dirt on Gweilo, and then spin it all out of context and everything, because that's exactly what these assholes do, I'm going to put this video out, and then you all know exactly my background dealing with and there was never any police involved. You know, it's one of those things. You're charged with a simple little thing that you can't do that. Yes, I can. Well, I'm going to charge you. Well, go ahead. Let a judge determine who's right and who's wrong. I was a firm believer in the legal system, and I still am, because that's just the way it is. It's there for a reason. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. I hope it's informative. I hope you know me better now that I made this video, and yeah, I've got really no skeletons in my closet, guys. I am an open book, and I think the older that you get, the more open book you are, unless you have stuff that you're hiding from. With me, nah, nothing that exciting in my world. Right now, the biggest excitement for me is sort of hanging out in China, traveling around the world with my beautiful wife, Wei Fong, eating, drinking, yes, drinking. Gweilo drinks. I get that on the chin too. Gweilo's an old drunk. Well, you know, I spent a lifetime working my ass off, and if Gweilo wants to have a couple of beers or a brandy, that's exactly what he's going to do. Why? Because I deserve it. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to resubscribe, and you know the story. Put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. We're going to be going out to the bomb area fairly shortly here, and you're going to see the good work that we're doing. I'm going to make some videos, and hope you guys are proud of me for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye now.